Hare Krishna. Mukham karoti vachalam pangulangayate girim. Yat kripadamaham vande Shri Gurung Vinatarinam. Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swaminiti Namine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayane Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramatarine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we will continue reading from Vaisnava K, What Kind of Devotee Are You? As a Bengali poem written by His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Sri Srila Prabhupada. The verse translation and extensive quotes from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and a commentary by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. Text 4. Pratisthara toru jara maya moru na pelo ravono jujhiya raghav Vaishnavi pratishtha tate kare nishtha taha na bhojile lobhibo roiro. Translation. My dear mind, beware of your desire to attain material reputation. It is misleading you with its attractive vision like an oasis of green trees, but it is simply a mirage in the desert of this world of repeated birth and death. It will cause your utter spiritual destruction. Remember how Ravana, the powerful demon, was bewildered due to false pride, and in spite of all his efforts to achieve temporary material prominence, he was destroyed by Raghava, Lord Ramachandra. The only position you should desire is to become a true Vaishnava, a pure devotee of the Lord. Give all your care and attention for obtaining this. If instead you neglect to purely worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, due to your offenses for all your hard endeavors, your life will simply be hellish. Hare Krishna. This is a very, very powerful verse. Pratisthara toru jaro maya moru. Moru, when we go out into the desert, the desert means scorching heat, dry place. So in the desert, we sometimes see, because of the reflection of the sun that falls at a certain angle with the heat of the sand, it forms like a mirage, which is like, you can see like the reflection of water. So from far, if you see, it looks like, just if we walk a little bit more, there is water, there is water, there is water. And once we walk near that place never seems to come, because it is just a mirage. It is just falsely existing there. Mirage means that something that is not there, and our eyes are bewildered to see something that we feel might be there. It is illusioned. It is bewildered. So our eyes are like that in this material world. We are trying to find, in a place of misery, we are trying to find happiness. It cannot be there. There's very, very few avenues where we can actually find some source of happiness even while in this material world. And the only avenues where we can find some happiness in this material world is that if it is an outlet to give us something from the spiritual world. That is the only way that we can truly be happy in this material world, when we are connecting ourselves to something that is not of this material world. A very beautiful example is given here by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada. He's saying, Napalo Ravun Dujhiya Raghav, which means Ravana, how Ravana, the powerful demon, was bewildered due to false pride, and in spite of all his efforts to achieve material temporary prominence, he was ultimately destroyed by Sri Raghavendra, by Lord Ramachandra. So, just like how Ravana, he was, trying to actually build a staircase to go to heaven. From his abode, from the material world, he was building a staircase. He said, why? I can go to Kailash because this Ravana was so powerful. He actually pleased Lord Shiva with his austerities. And he would travel, to and fro from heavenly planets, from this, that. He was a great tapasvi. But the thing is that he was so proud of his tapasya. He was so, he was thinking that there's nobody else in this whole world who can please Lord Shiva as much as he is doing. So he had become very, very proud, because of all the austerities that he had performed. We know how, he really did a lot of austerities to please Lord Shiva. There's no doubt about it. But the reason why he was doing all of this was so that, he can become powerful. He wanted, position, he wanted fame, he wanted power. This was the things that he was looking for. So he did great amount of austerities, like not eating for several years, performing tapasya after tapasya. He kept offering his head, into the sacrificial fire. Generally when we say Swaha at a sacrifice, we offer some greens. Ravana, when he was doing the fire sacrifice, in order to please Lord Shiva, he was cutting his head, and he was offering it as oblation into the fire. When he did this the 10th time, that's when Lord Shiva came, being pleased with his sacrifices, and came and gave him benediction, and that's why he became Dashanand. He became the 10-headed Ravana. Lord Shiva returned all those heads back to him, being very pleased by his austerities. So Ravana did great lengths of austerities, but if his motive, if the purpose for which he was doing his austerities would be pure in nature, it would be for, attaining the supreme destination, Ravana would definitely be a great pure devotee. That is motivation. The consciousness with which he was doing what he was doing was so that he would become famous, so that he would become all-powerful. That was the motivation. That was his consciousness. So therefore he got what he wanted, although he did great amount of austerities. And then his power became so much, he became so proud, he became so bewildered by his own pride, by his own strength, that he wanted to enjoy the goddess of fortune without her master. He wanted to enjoy Sita Devi separate from Lord Ram. He wanted to separate Ram Sita. So when that was like the ultimate mistake that Ravana committed, and because of his offense to Mother Sita, Raghavendra came and destroyed his pride, killed him. So we should be very careful also that when we are doing even any kind of austerities, Kartik is coming up now. There's so many opportunities for us to do so many kinds of tapasya. And we should be careful that the austerities that we choose to perform should be shastric. It is a great offense to say that, okay, Kartik is coming, it's time for me to lose some weight, so let me go on a juice fast. Kartik is also there, this will also be there, and I'll get benefit of both. That is a huge offense, to combine our, if you want to do something for health, don't say that you're doing this austerity for Kartik. Don't do that. That's not according to Shastra, because if you want to do any kind of tapasya for Kartik, we must stick to what are the tenets that are given, what are the rules of fasting, what are the types of fasting. Everything is given in the Shastra. We should not try to concoct something from our own mind and do something whatever we feel. That is not going to be pleasing to anybody other than our own senses. We are just boosting our own false pride. So we should be very, very careful that when we are doing certain things, what is the motivation for us to do what we are doing? That motivation, that consciousness, for that to be pure, we have to be careful. When we are chanting our rounds, are we chanting with the mood that, oh look, I am chanting. Everyone will say, what a great devotee I am. I'm chanting 16 rounds. Oh look, I have been asked to do the arti during Sunday feast. Everyone will come and see that how elegantly I'm moving my hand from one position to the other when I'm doing the chamara. Look what a big number I'm doing on the chamara. Everyone will see how gloriously, how elegantly I'm moving my hands when I'm offering arti to the Lord. So if we are doing our service in this way, in this mood, is it going to be pleasing to Krishna, or will it just boost our own ego? It is going to boost our own ego, and this kind of service will definitely not be able to please Krishna. When we are doing any kind of service, we should, whether somebody is seeing it or not, we should know that Krishna is the witness. He is Sakshi for not only whatever action we are doing, but for all the thoughts that we are having. Krishna is there to see us and judge us and wait for us. So he is witness, he is Sakshi to all of that. So we must be extremely careful to, not just do things for the sake of doing it or for the sake of boosting our ego. We should be very, very clear about what the motivation is for every action that we do. Okay, I'm doing this particular action. Why am I doing it? For whom am I doing it? If the answer always is that I am doing this for the pleasure of my Guru and for the pleasure of Krishna, I am doing this because this seva will please Guru and Krishna, then our action is completely sanctioned, glorified, and is displeasing to Guru and Krishna. Otherwise, we are just filling more and more air in the balloon of our ego. We should try to deflate our ego, but rather we are going on filling it with more and more hot air. So we should be very careful and consider it. That is why Srila Prabhupada named our movement International Society for Krishna Consciousness. It is not Krishna activities. So even if we may be externally doing many other different kinds of activities, we should be careful that what kind of activities we are doing actually, which is going to be pleasing to Guru and Krishna. We should be careful in always, filtering our consciousness. Always take it through the filter. Always take it through the, how is it called, like before releasing a product in the company, they actually go through a lot of quality checks, right? And quality checks are very important. If we release a particular product without doing quality check and defect comes, then the fault is from the QA department, the quality control department. So we should always be very careful before we are giving our product to Krishna. So before we properly check it, we should not offer that. That product is coming in the form of our different services. So we should be very, very careful. In the purport we see to this verse, Srila Guru Maharaj is writing, in the first passage, Guru Maharaj is writing that, sometimes we are driven to think that, even in my spiritual life, what if I have the position, of this particular position of being the department head of this particular department at the temple? It would be so nice. People would know my talents. They would recognize my talents. If that is what we are doing, then this mirage, Guru Maharaj is saying, then the mirage vanishes and he will only find a dry, waterless desert. So then Krishna consciousness will be just very desert-like. It will be very dry. So Guru Maharaj is quoting a particular verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto. Two verses actually, 38 and 39. He's saying that it is abominable for a person living in the Grihastha ashram to give up the regulative principles. So Grihastha ashram means where we take ashray, means shelter. So an ashram is a place where people of that particular household are all taking shelter of who? Of Guru and Krishna. So that place is called an ashram. Such a household is called an ashram, where every member of the family is seeking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So that is why Grihastha life or a household life is also an ashram, just like Brahmachari, ashram, Sannyas, ashram. So ashram means to take shelter. So even Grihasthas are meant to take shelter, and they are supposed to live their life by following the regulative principles. Goes on to say that for a brahmachari not to follow the brahmachari vows while living under the care of the guru, for a vanaprastha to live in the village and engage in so-called social activities, or for a sannyasi to be addicted to sense gratification. One who acts in this way is to be considered the lowest renegade. Such a pretender is bewildered by the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one should either reject him from any position or, taking compassion upon him, teach him, if possible, to resume his original position. So, a grihastha, they are meant to live by regulative principles. A brahmachari should follow the rules and the vows of celibacy. A vanaprasthi should live in a secluded forest, not having any kind of social ties. And a sannyasi should not be addicted to sense gratification. These are the tenets of each and every ashram. And if anyone is doing anything otherwise, then, if possible, they should be rectified with compassion and taught with compassion and be brought back to resume in their original position. This is the verdict of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Guru Maharaj goes on to say that the real position of happiness is to actually be a Vaishnava in its true sense, a servant of the Lord. So when a devotee desires a position, of being a temple manager or even a sannyasi, sometimes people think, oh, okay, if I go to ISKCON, many people, especially in India, they think that, oh, look at the kind of life I'm leading here. I'm running around for a job. I am, struggling. But if I join the temple, then if I just go and give some good classes over there, this and that, then I will get, 3 meals a day. I will get some respect, position, even a manager they can make me because of some qualification that I have materially. I can roam around in cars, I can do this, I can do that. So some people have this as a motivation to join the temple or to join the Hare Krishna movement. And that is something very pathetic, because that kind of thing will not last. It won't be a long-lasting event in our life. So we should be very careful that we should not attempt to, take up some position just for the sake of taking position. If some kind of service comes to us without even us asking for it, then we should graciously accept it. But if we are hankering for position within the society, then that is something very, very degradable. Very, very degradable. And Krishna is actually just, here Guru Maharaj actually in this particular purport, he is quoting 2 verses from Shikshashtakam that has been given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The first one is, Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patita Mam Vishame Bhavam Budhau Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sthita Dhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya. That, hey Nanda Tanuja, hey Krishna, you are the son of Maharaj Nanda. Kinkaram, Kinkari actually means, Kim Karomi means sold out servant, basically, King Karomi means how can I engage in your service? What can I do for you, Krishna? A servant is always there, standing with folded hands, waiting for orders that can be executed. So Kinkara means that what should I do for you, O Krishna? But there is no doubt about it that I am fallen in this ocean of birth and death. So please, just with your mercy, Kripaya Tava Pada Pallava, with the mercy coming from your lotus feet, you just please pick me up and place me as one of the atoms in your lotus feet, O Krishna. That is the prayer of a Vaishnava. Now, for every service that we do, if we simply chant this particular prayer, then there is no question for us to have any kind of pride. We will not be deluded by pride. Srila Prabhupada always says, he used a very beautiful analogy. Guru Maharaj is explaining in the purport. He gave the analogy of cream. He says that the cream, if you boil the milk and keep it, then the cream is the one that comes on the top. It always floats up on the top. It settles on the top. Similarly, if the devotee's desires are pure, if they are light and free from all material contamination, that pure desire will pull one higher and higher in devotional activities. Such a beautiful analogy. That if our desires are pure, if our desires are, dedicated towards pleasing Guru and Krishna, if that is our desire, then such desire will just take us higher and higher and higher in our Krishna consciousness. That is what Srila Prabhupada has said. And pure devotee, what is the meaning of pure devotee? That meaning has also been given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That a pure devotee is a person who is having no other desire other than the desire of pure devotional service birth after birth. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti rahaitu ki tvai. That I do not desire any kind, na dhanam, I don't want any kind of wealth, I don't want any kind of beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth, O my Lord. That is the desire of a pure devotee. So like this, if we can make the goal of our life to attain, working towards this goal, then we do have some hope that, by holding on to the hands of devotees moving with such faith, if we just hold on to that Sangha, even though we may be lagging behind, then that Sangha will take us along, That is the beauty of devotee association, which is described in the next verse. We will discuss it next week. But that is the glory of devotee association. The devotee association takes care of us even if we are not able to take care of ourselves. That is the glory of devotee association. We should be very, very mindful of this, that our Bhakti Lata creeper, the Bhakti Lata beej, is developing into a small creeper, when we have a tiny sapling. Many of us did so many projects as children, putting a pea inside the soil in a little cup and keeping it near the sunlight, watering it every day, and then it grows. It grows into a tiny sapling. So like this, we all have been blessed somehow or the other by the mercy of some Vaisnava, that the Bhakti Lata beej in our heart has been sown in the soil of our heart. And we have to constantly water it with the chanting of the holy names. Then the sapling will fructify and it will grow into a beautiful little creeper. But that creeper can be, eaten up by hungry animals if we are not protecting it properly. So the hungry animals are like our anarthas. Our anarthas are like those hungry animals that can come and eat up our Bhakti Lata beej. So anarthas like lust, pride, greed, envy, anger, name, fame, profit, adoration, distinction, all of these are like these hungry animals that can come and destroy our Bhakti Lata beej. So we have to put a fence around our Bhakti Lata beej so that no hungry animal can come and harm our tiny sapling. What is that fence? That fence is the association of devotees. Only when we have the association of strong, like-minded devotees, our Bhakti Lata beej is protected. And then we can be rest assured that even if the anarthas are there, then our Bhakti Lata beej is at least secure. And we can deal with the anarthas. We can deal with the wild and crazy animals. We can deal with them. We can try to tame them through the association of devotees. So that is the kind of analogy that Srila Prabhupada has given. So we have to be strong enough to build a fence around us. And that fence that will protect us in our devotional practices is our like-minded devotee association. So with this, I end here. If there's any questions, comments, or reflections, we can take that now. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Mataji, Dana Pranam. Glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Very beautiful class, Mataji. Very, very beautiful, Mataji. Especially this book of Guru Maharaj Vaisnava is very nice, and it's very nice you are giving all the verses and details. Mataji, this pride is, I'm always thinking, means I had that kind of feelings. I mean, when I chant in the beginning, or maybe people can see that kind of or showing kind of nature. But I try to avoid now this kind of things, and it's very difficult, Mataji. Sometimes it comes in my mind also. Means I try to be humble, not let them to knowing and there, but it's very difficult, Mataji. How we can.
Okay. Well, see, the thing is that it will actually be it is definitely difficult. I definitely agree with you, because that is what we are conditioned. All our activities have been driven so far by wanting, name and fame. But to go against it, we should, consciously try. The more sincerely we try, the more we will see the reaction. If we don't try, then we will not see any kind of fruit being manifesting. But the thing is that, we have to definitely try. That is our only hope. We have to practice it. And it becomes very easy that, sometimes, yes, glorifications will come. Even though we don't want it, glorifications will definitely come. So what are we doing with those glorifications? If we just keep it to ourselves, we say, yeah, okay, I actually don't deserve it, but you're giving it to me, so yeah, fine, okay, I'll accept it. No, if you just say that, then we are just being very, we are not acting according to how we're supposed to be acting. But the actual thing is to say is that whatever I'm getting, whatever good you're seeing in me, is simply by the mercy of my spiritual master. So we pass the credit on to the Guru. And the Guru passes it on to his Guru. His Guru passes it on to his Guru. And then ultimately it reaches Krishna. That is the glory of the Guru Parampara. That whatever we are doing, we are not doing it as an individual person. We are actually just representing the parampara. So whatever good that is coming out of it, we should give it back to the parampara. Who are we to keep it with ourselves? It's not ours to keep anyways. Whatever we are speaking because we have the parampara. So whatever credit we get because of that, we pass it on back to the parampara. It's a simple logic. So when we start doing that, then that action, that sincere action pleases Krishna so much. When we give credit to others, amanina manadena, when we give respect to others, expecting none in return, that pleases Krishna so much. Then Krishna blesses us with spiritual advancement. That is what is the analogy of the cream that Prabhupada has given. So we have to know the pure desire for that, keeping our desires pure, keeping our actions pure. Once we do that, then we'll keep rising up and up and up in our Krishna consciousness. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Mataji, for our desires will be pure first of all, and then, yeah, that is a very nice answer. And Mataji, how we can be very strong? So because you were telling in the class, the anartha may be there, yeah, so many anartha is there, but how we can save this bhakti lata, means there is no maybe some, because Guru Maharaj's mercy, we are getting the seed, but when we chant and hear, and then how we can save that bhakti lata, these bhakti lata means from the strongly, yeah, how we can keep in shape, Mataji. It's very difficult.
It is only by the association of devotees, because if we want to strong enough to protect our Bhakti Lata Bij. That is why we need to be in the association of devotees who can help us. That is why we protect our Bhakti Lata Bij with a fence, which is the association of devotees. They will protect.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.